Have you ever worked so hard to save a relationship that you ended up losing yourself in the process? Have you ever apologized for things you did not do, explained yourself until you were exhausted, and still felt like nothing was truly repaired? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about one of the most painful traps a sincere person can fall into. You care, you try, you reflect, you take responsibility, you want peace, you want harmony, you want to fix what is broken. And yet the harder you try to repair the relationship, the more your heart breaks. It feels unfair because you are doing what good people do. You are doing what mature people do. You are doing what loving people do. So, why does it hurt so much? Because sometimes what you call repair is not actually repair. Sometimes it is emotional labor you are doing to avoid loss, avoid conflict, avoid being abandoned, avoid facing an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes it is not love guiding you. Sometimes it is fear. Fear wearing the mask of devotion. Here are the two truths I want you to hold gently as we walk through this long conversation together. First, you cannot repair a relationship alone. If only one person is building, that is not a bridge. That is a rope you are pulling until your hands bleed. Second, the moment you start trading your dignity for closeness, you are no longer repairing love. You are bargaining with your self-worth. And that bargain always ends with heartbreak, because self-worth is not something another person can pay you back for. Let me tell you a story. Not because your life is exactly the same, but because the pattern is universal. There was a woman named Elena. She was the kind of person people described as thoughtful. She remembered details. She noticed moods. She tried to make people comfortable. She believed that love meant effort, and effort meant fixing problems quickly. If there was tension, she could not relax. If someone was distant, she felt it in her stomach like a stone. If a message was short, she replayed it. If a conversation ended awkwardly, she blamed herself for not saying the right thing. Even started dating someone named Chris. In the beginning, Chris was warm, attentive, exciting. Elena felt chosen. She felt safe. She felt like all the old loneliness in her chest finally had a place to rest. Then, slowly, Chris began changing. Not dramatically, just enough to confuse her. Replies became slower. Plans became less certain. Affection became inconsistent. When Elena asked what was wrong, Chris would say nothing. "I am fine. You are overthinking." And the moment Chris said that, Elena would feel shame. The shame would push her into more effort. She would try to be easier. She would try to be cooler. She would try to be less needy. She would try to be perfect. She started doing what many sincere people do when they sense distance. She began overfunctioning. She would initiate every conversation. She would suggest every plan. She would apologize first, even when she did not know what she did. She would send long messages explaining her intentions. She would offer solutions before the other person even admitted there was a problem. She would lower her needs so the relationship could keep breathing. And at first, it seemed like it worked. Chris would soften for a moment. Chris would give a little warmth. Elena would feel relief. Then she would think, "Okay, I fixed it." But the relief never lasted. So she tried again, and again, and again. And each time, she paid with a little piece of herself. Her sleep got worse. Her appetite changed. Her friends noticed she was distracted. Her work performance dipped. Her mood became unstable. Not because she was weak, but because her nervous system was living in a constant state of monitoring. Monitoring is exhausting. When you are monitoring a relationship for signs of danger, you are not living. You are guarding. One night, Elena sat in her car after a conversation that left her feeling small. Chris had said something cold, then ended the call. Elena stared at the steering wheel and realized her hands were shaking. She whispered to herself, "Why am I trying so hard for someone who is not trying with me?" That question was the beginning of awakening, because the real heartbreak was not only Chris. The real heartbreak was Elena abandoning Elena. Now, I want you to feel the core pattern here, because it is likely somewhere in your life too. When you try to repair a relationship that is not equally invested, you often slip into one of these invisible roles. You become the translator. You translate the other person's silence into a story you can manage. You become the firefighter. You rush to put out every spark, even sparks that the other person keeps lighting. You become the therapist. You analyze the other person's behavior, childhood, wounds, stress, and you use that analysis to excuse disrespect. You become the accountant. You count every effort, every message, every apology, every sacrifice, hoping the math will finally make love fair. You become the magician. You believe if you say the perfect sentence, you can transform them. And while you are doing all of this, you are slowly losing the simplest truth. A relationship is not repaired by your intelligence, your patience, your explanations, or your sacrifices. A relationship is repaired by mutual responsibility. Mutual. If the other person will not hold their side, you cannot hold it for them without breaking your own spine. This is not cynicism. This is wisdom. Now let us go deeper into why this trap happens, because understanding the root is the start of real freedom. Many people who over-repair learn it early in life that love is conditional. They learn it that to be safe, they must be useful, agreeable, emotionally intelligent, and easy to handle. They learn it to scan faces. They learn it to anticipate moods. They learn it to prevent conflict. They learn it to keep everyone okay, and they became very good at it. That skill might have protected them once, but in adulthood, that skill can become a cage, because you cannot build intimacy by avoiding discomfort. Real intimacy requires honesty. Real intimacy requires boundaries. Real intimacy requires the ability to tolerate tension while you speak truth. If you cannot tolerate tension, you will try to fix too fast. If you try to fix too fast, you will fix the surface, not the root. And when the root is not addressed, the same pain returns again, often sharper. Now, I want to introduce a spiritual lens here, because this topic is not only psychological, it touches karma in the most practical sense. Karma is cause and effect, not only in grand mystical timelines, but in daily choices. If you repeatedly abandon your needs to keep someone close, you are planting a cause. The effect is that your self-respect weakens. When self-respect weakens, you become more anxious. When you become more anxious, you over-explain more. When you over-explain more, the other person feels pressure. When they feel pressure, they withdraw more. When they withdraw more, your anxiety increases. This is a wheel. You see how the wheel spins even without anyone being evil. So the question is not only, why are they doing this? The question is, what pattern am I feeding? This is where cultivation comes in. Cultivation means you train your mind and heart so you stop feeding suffering. You cannot control what another person does, but you can control the pattern you participate in. You can step off the wheel. Now let me tell you another story, because I want you to see how repairing can become self-betrayal even in family relationships, not only romance. There was a man named Aaron who had a complicated relationship with his father. His father was not a monster. He provided. He showed up. But emotionally, he was sharp. He criticized. He rarely apologized. He believed that being harsh was being helpful. Aaron grew up craving approval like a thirsty person craving water. As an adult, Aaron kept trying to repair the relationship. He would call first. He would visit. He would buy gifts. He would ask his father about his day. He would share achievements hoping for pride. But when Aaron shared, the father would respond with something like, "That is fine, but you could have done better." Aaron felt crushed each time, so he tried harder. He read books about communication. He practiced calm responses. He tried to explain his feelings in a respectful way. He even tried to heal his father, telling himself, "My father is wounded. My father did not receive love. My father cannot express warmth." All of that might have been true, but the truth that mattered most was this: Aaron was turning compassion into permission for continued harm. Compassion without boundaries is not compassion. It is self-erasure. And self-erasure is not filial piety. It is not love. It is fear of losing the fantasy that one day you will finally be seen. Aaron realized that the relationship he was trying to repair was not the relationship he actually had. It was the relationship he wished he had. So, he changed his approach. He stopped trying to get a different father. He started trying to become a different son in the best way. Not different as in colder, but different as in grounded. He limited contact. He stopped offering personal details that would become ammunition. He stopped chasing praise. He practiced respectful distance. He still cared. He still helped when necessary. But he stopped opening his chest to be stabbed by the same knife. And in time, something unexpected happened. Aaron became calmer. His life became lighter. He stopped carrying his father like a verdict on his worth. His relationships improved. His confidence improved. His destiny turned because he stopped investing his life for into a wound that could not be healed from one side. Now, I want to pause and speak to the tender part of you that might be thinking, but if I stop trying, am I giving up on love? No, you might be giving up on illusion. You might be giving up on control. You might be giving up on the role of savior. But you are not giving up on love. You are returning love to its proper place. Love is not a negotiation where you pay pain to buy closeness. Love is not a performance where you earn belonging by being perfect. Love is not a rescue mission where you lose yourself to save someone who refuses to swim. Real love includes compassion. Real love includes truth. Real love includes boundaries. Real love includes the willingness to walk away from disrespect. This is why the heart breaks when you over-repair. Because the heart knows you are betraying yourself. Your mind might call it loyalty, but your body calls it exhaustion. Now let us explore the 3 hidden reasons people over-repair. Because seeing them clearly is a form of awakening. One reason is fear of abandonment. You think if you do not fix it, you will be left. So you rush. You apologize. You bend. You perform. You become smaller. You tell yourself you are preventing loss. But what you are actually doing is teaching your nervous system that love requires self-erasure. Another reason is addiction to closure. You cannot tolerate an open loop. You cannot tolerate silence. You cannot tolerate uncertainty. So you push for resolution, even if resolution is fake. You would rather have a false peace than a true conversation. But false peace always breaks later, because what is not spoken remains in the room like smoke. Another reason is identity. You see yourself as the mature one, the kind one, the healer, the one who understands. So when conflict happens, you feel responsible, even when you are not. You take on more than your share because it protects your identity as good. But goodness that destroys you is not wisdom. It is imbalance. The middle way is what matters. The middle way says, I will be kind, and I will be clear. I will be compassionate, and I will not abandon myself. I will be willing to repair, and I will require mutual responsibility. That is maturity. Now, I want to show you something practical that can change your life. It is a single question. When you are trying to repair a relationship, ask yourself, am I repairing connection, or am I repairing my anxiety? Because those are different. Repairing connection looks like honest conversation, mutual accountability, and concrete change. Repairing anxiety looks like over-explaining, over-apologizing, chasing reassurance, and trying to control the other person's emotions. If you are repairing anxiety, you will never be done, because anxiety is a hungry ghost. It eats reassurance and is still hungry tomorrow. So the practice is to soothe anxiety without using the relationship as medicine. How do you do that? You come back to the body. You breathe. You slow down. You remind yourself that your worth is not dependent on this outcome. You remember impermanence, not as a threat, but as reality. Everything changes. Relationships change too. You cannot hold someone by force. If you try, you only squeeze the life out of the connection. This is where non-attachment becomes deeply practical. Non-attachment does not mean you do not care. It means you care without clinging. You love without gripping. You show up without demanding that your showing up guarantees a specific response. When you can do that, you become free. And freedom is strangely attractive, because when you are free, you stop radiating pressure. People can breathe around you. They can choose you rather than feel obligated to manage you. Now, let us talk about something that many people confuse. They confuse patience with tolerating disrespect. Patience is waiting for emotions to settle so you can respond wisely. Patience is not staying in a dynamic that harms you while calling it spiritual. Some people stay in painful relationships and say they are practicing compassion, but compassion includes wisdom. Compassion includes recognizing that continued harm helps no one. If you enable someone to avoid responsibility, you are not helping their growth. You are helping their avoidance. So the compassionate choice might be distance. The compassionate choice might be no contact. The compassionate choice might be firm boundaries. The compassionate choice might be saying, I care about you, and I will not participate in this pattern anymore. That sentence can change a life, because it changes the karma of the relationship. It changes the cause you are planting. Instead of planting self-erasure, you plant dignity. Instead of planting anxiety, you plant clarity. Instead of planting resentment, you plant honest limits. And honest limits often bring out truth. Some people will respect you more. Some people will leave. Both outcomes are information. If they respect you more, the relationship might become healthier. If they leave because you set boundaries, then the relationship was built on your bending. It was not love. It was convenience. That truth hurts, but it also liberates. Now let me tell you a story that shows how repair becomes possible only when you stop chasing it. There was a couple, Nina and Daniel. They argued often. Nina always tried to repair. After each argument, she would chase Daniel, explaining, apologizing, asking for reassurance. Daniel would withdraw, feeling overwhelmed. The more Nina chased, the more Daniel withdrew. The more Daniel withdrew, the more Nina panicked. It became a dance that exhausted both of them. One day, after a particularly painful fight, Nina did something different. She did not chase. She went for a walk. She breathed. She cried. She let the emotion move without turning it into action. She wrote down what she felt and what she needed, not as a message to Daniel, but as clarity for herself. When Daniel came home, Nina spoke calmly. She said, "I want repair, but I cannot be the only one doing it. When we fight, I chase because I feel scared. When I chase, you withdraw. When you withdraw, I feel abandoned. I am working on not chasing. I need you to work on not disappearing. If we cannot do that together, we will keep hurting each other." Then she stopped talking. No extra paragraphs. No pleading. No proving. Just truth. Daniel was quiet. At first, he wanted to defend. Then he realized Nina was not attacking him. She was naming the pattern. That allowed him to see himself without shame. He admitted that withdrawing was his way of avoiding feeling inadequate. He agreed to a plan, not a perfect plan, but a real one. When conflict rose, they would take a short break, then return. Nina would soothe her anxiety without chasing. Daniel would come back instead of vanishing. Did it fix everything overnight? No, but it changed the direction. Because Nina stopped using repair as a way to manage fear, she made repair a shared responsibility. That is the only way repair becomes real. Now, I want to speak to a question many people carry quietly. What if the other person never meets me halfway? Then your path is still clear. If they never meet you halfway, your task is not to convince them. Your task is to protect your heart and cultivate your life. This is where destiny becomes personal again. Your destiny is not determined by whether one person stays. Your destiny is determined by whether you keep your virtue and clarity while life changes. Virtue here means you do not become bitter. You do not become cruel. You do not become manipulative. You do not become the kind of person you would not respect. You can leave with dignity. You can grieve without poisoning yourself. You can learn without turning trauma into identity. That is real practice. Now let us talk about grief, because stopping the repair obsession often brings grief to the surface. When you stop chasing, you feel what the chasing was covering. You feel disappointment. You feel loneliness. You feel the loss of the imagined future. You feel the ache of not being chosen the way you wanted. This grief is holy in a practical sense. It is honest. It is cleansing. It is the heart releasing illusion. But many people are afraid of grief, so they keep repairing, because repairing keeps hope alive, even if the hope is not grounded in reality. So I want to offer you a gentle truth. Hope that requires you to abandon yourself is not hope. It is a trap. Real hope is hope that includes self-respect. Real hope is hope that includes boundaries. Real hope is hope that is aligned with truth. If the truth is that you are alone in the repair, then the hope must shift. The hope becomes, I will be okay even if this ends. I will take care of myself. I will grow. I will build a life that does not depend on chasing someone who is not present. That hope is strong. That hope changes destiny. Now I want to bring this into a direct inner practice you can do the next time you feel the urge to fix. Imagine you just had conflict. Your nervous system is activated. You want to send a long message. You want to explain. You want to be understood. You want to secure the relationship. Pause. Place one hand on your chest or simply feel your breathing. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? You might feel fear. You might feel shame. You might feel anger. You might feel loneliness. Then ask, what do I want right now? Often the answer is, I want safety. Here is the key. Safety is not the same as resolution. You can create safety in your own body without forcing a conversation. So, you breathe. You slow down. You remind yourself, I do not need to fix this in this moment to be okay. Then you ask, what is the wisest action? Not the most urgent action. Wisdom often says, wait until you are calm. Urgency often says, chase now. If you act from urgency, you often regret it. If you act from wisdom, you protect your heart. Then, when you do speak, you speak with right speech. Right speech is clean. It is short. It is honest. It does not beg. It does not threaten. It does not manipulate. It simply names what is true and what you need. And then, you allow the other person to respond freely. This part is hard, because allowing free response means accepting that they might not respond the way you want. But this is where attachment loosens. If you cannot tolerate their free response, you will try to control it. And control kills love. So you practice letting them be who they are, while you remain who you are. That is freedom. Now, I want to share something that might feel like a mirror, because many people in this pattern confuse love with effort. They believe, if I love, I must do more. But sometimes love means doing less. Sometimes love means stepping back so you stop creating pressure. Sometimes love means allowing consequences. Sometimes love means refusing to participate in disrespect. Sometimes love means leaving so the person can face the reality of their behavior, and so you can heal. This is not coldness. This is wisdom. Now let us talk about the most subtle heartbreak of all. The heartbreak of trying to be understood by someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. Some people do not misunderstand by accident. They misunderstand because it benefits them. If they misunderstand you, they do not have to take responsibility. If they misunderstand you, they can make you the problem. If they misunderstand you, they can keep power. So you explain more. They twist it. You explain again. They twist again. Soon you are exhausted and confused. This is when the heart breaks, because you are pouring truth into a cup that has no bottom. So here is the mature question. Is this person capable of repair? Not willing. Capable. Some people are not capable because of emotional immaturity. Some people are not capable because they avoid accountability. Some people are not capable because they lack empathy. Some people are not capable because they are not invested. If they are not capable, your repair attempts will become self-harm. Then the wise move is to stop. Stopping is not giving up. Stopping is choosing reality. Choosing reality is awakening. Awakening is not only sitting on a cushion. Awakening is seeing the truth of a dynamic and no longer feeding it with your life force. Now I want to bring in compassion again, because this topic can easily become bitter. It is easy to listen and feel anger. It is easy to say, people are terrible, love is a lie. But that is not wisdom. Wisdom includes compassion. Even when you leave, compassion says, I see that you have your own suffering. Compassion says, I will not hate you. Compassion says, I do not wish you harm. Compassion says, I will not carry you as poison in my heart. But compassion also says, I will not let your suffering become my daily wound. That balance is the practice. That balance is the middle way. Now let me share a personal style reflection, the kind that creates resonance, because many people feel ashamed of how much they tried. I have seen people who are deeply sincere become exhausted because they believed love was a test they had to pass. They believed that if they could just be patient enough, understanding enough, forgiving enough, the other person would finally change. They believed they had to earn peace. They believed they had to prove they were worthy of being treated well. And the heartbreak was not only that the other person did not change. The heartbreak was realizing they had been negotiating with someone for basic respect. Basic respect is not something you negotiate for. Basic respect is the entry fee for closeness. If someone will not pay the entry fee, you do not keep begging at the door. You walk away with dignity. That is not arrogance. That is self-respect. And self-respect is a form of spiritual protection, because when you have self-respect, you stop inviting karma that breaks you. You stop repeating the pattern. You stop attracting the same dynamic. You begin living differently. Now, I want to bring everything we said into one clear truth you can carry. If repairing the relationship is breaking your heart, you are probably trying to fix something that requires two hands, using only your own. So the real repair is this. Repair your boundaries. Repair your self-respect. Repair your relationship with your own nervous system. Repair the part of you that believes love requires self-erasure. When you repair these, one of two things will happen. Either the relationship improves because the other person rises to meet the new reality, or the relationship ends because it cannot survive without you shrinking. Both outcomes are clarity. Clarity is a blessing, because clarity ends confusion. Confusion is what keeps you trapped. Now, let us end with a gentle invitation. If you are in a situation right now where you are trying so hard to repair and your heart feels like it is cracking, I want you to try one small act of courage this week. Do not send the long message. Do not chase the reassurance. Do not apologize for existing. Instead, breathe. Write down what you feel and what you need. Speak one clean sentence when you are calm. Then let the other person respond. And while you wait, do not abandon yourself. Eat, sleep, move your body, talk to a friend, return to your life. Because your life is not supposed to be held hostage by one relationship. You are here to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and steady strength. That cultivation is your destiny. Thank you for spending this time with me. I want you to share in the comments. Have you ever tried to repair so much that you lost yourself? What did you learn? And what helped you come back to your dignity? Your story might be the exact light someone else needs. If you want more long-form conversations like this, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so this message can reach more people who are tired of bleeding for love. And if you want to support the channel more deeply, consider joining the membership so we can keep creating content that helps you live with clarity, boundaries, compassion, and the kind of inner practice that turns heartbreak into awakening. Life gets noisy. Work, stress, expectations. Sometimes we lose touch with the quiet part of ourselves. Bracelet isn't just an accessory. It's a small reminder that you deserve peace. You deserve moments of stillness. You deserve to hold on to your inner balance. If one of these bracelets speaks to your heart, you'll find the purchase link in the description below. And even more auctions available on our channel's shop page. Pick home the one that feels right.